want to share this story of how I almost killed somebody. And it was because I wasn't following the proper firearm safety rules. I actually might get a lot of hate for this, but I want to put the awareness out there. And let me say, even prior to this, I had already been around firearms my entire life. And I was in my mid-20s when this happened. Okay, let me just tell you the story. So it's late at night, maybe around midnight-ish. And me and one of my friends is fishing. And we're out here on Lake Mead. I think Lake Mead is it is the biggest man-made lake. Just so you know, it's huge. There's islands and everything out there. And then this night, me and my boy, we just wasn't catching anything. So it was dead quiet. And then at one point, we start hearing some coyote. And I had my rifle with me. To be specific, it was a Smith & Wesson VTAC 2. Since we had been fishing for a while and we hadn't caught nothing, when we heard the coyotes, I just made the decision, or I asked my boy, like, hey, you want to go try and track these coyotes down? Maybe we can get a couple. And he's like, yeah, we ain't catching nothing, so let's try. We was, I don't know, maybe like 10 miles away from where the boat launch was. We were near like kind of an island, but it's super dark, so you can't really see that much. So we start hiking up this island, like it's like a mountain. It's not like a flat island. It's like an island out there that's just almost probably like a 30-degree angle. We're going up it, kind of crawling our way up it so we don't slip and slide or nothing. We keep going up, keep going up. We can hear us getting closer to these coyotes. And again, it's just super dark. We finally get to the top, and on the front of my AR, I had a light. So when we get to the top, I finally like press the top and I bring my AR up and I turn the light on to see if I can see them. And then I see a bunch of pairs of eyes and I'm like, oh, they're right there. And I can see them, like literally just see them like peeking up, looking at us. You can see maybe like 4 sets of eyes and they're all looking at us, and still we can hear them. We can hear them just right there. It seems like they weren't on the same island we were on, so it was like, it's kind of hard to get to them. But I just kept watching them with my lights, and I was just watching the eyes, and it kind of looked like a family of coyote or whatever, a pack of coyotes. They were just like debating how to get closer to them, and it looked like it was water in between us and them. And it still seemed like we're kind of close, maybe within 300 yards. Yeah, so I'm just looking at him, and I'm like looking at my boy. Now, I'm in a kneeling position, and I'm still got my rifle, and every now and then I'm looking at him with the light, and then I'm guessing, and I'm like, dang, like I could probably shoot it, and then we could go try to find it, We keep debating, and he's like, man, it's up to you, Like if you shoot it, we can go try to find it. And then we just keep debating. This goes on maybe like 5 minutes. We're debating what should we do, or I'm kind of debating what should I do, and he's just there with me. And then I remember I'm still aiming down on him, and I'm like, come on. I'm just gauging how far we are just with my naked eyes. I'm like, I think we're about 200 yards away. It's really hard to tell because of how the landscape was. But I'm like, we're about 200 yards away. We're on a peak. They're down here. And I'm looking down on them like this. So I'm like, okay, bullets don't drop that far at 200 yards, especially for an AR. I was like, my bullet might drop 2 or 3 inches. I could just aim right for the middle of the eyes, shoot, and I'll definitely hit it in the mouth. I'm telling my boy this. I'm looking at him just like, yo, what, what'd you think? And he's like, yeah, it's whatever, bro. And then I remember even being at the point where I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to take the shot. And if I don't remember right, this was probably, I don't know, 7 years ago or so. So all the small details are a blur to me. I remember at the time, I remembered everything. I'm aiming, and I remember even thinking, like, I know I was really set on taking a shot at one point. And whenever I was still aiming down on him, I remember I got a phone call. So I'm aiming like this, get the phone call, and I reach in my pocket. I don't remember who it was at this time, but I remember talking to him for a while. And then I'm like, yeah. I didn't tell him we were hunting, so I think I told him, like, yeah, I'm fishing right now. Or I might have said I'm thinking about shooting these coyotes or something. And then the conversation lasted about a minute. hang up the phone, and then I go back to him, and I'm like, okay. I remember after I got off the phone, I was like, I'm not sure. And and keep in mind, like I said, I keep seeing them all, like all the eyes of the coyotes just still right there, and I'm just aiming at them, and I'm like, I'm looking at the one that seems the tallest out of all of them. Like, it's kind of, even that was hard to gauge because all you see is the glowing eyes in the background. And as I'm still aiming at him, I remember not, at this point, I wasn't about to shoot at this moment, but I remember aiming at him, and I got my crosshairs on one of them. And as I'm like that, all I hear from the darkness is just, "Hey, yeah, bro, we're here. What?" And at that moment, bro, my heart just sank. Like, my heart sank. And I was like, thank God that this dude wasn't super nice. Like, thank God he got tired of me and he said something, because apparently, I don't know where these guys were. Like, or this guy was with whoever he was with. I'm assuming he's with his family, because I still remember like seeing one that was taller than the others. So I'm guessing this was probably the dad, and he was with his family. But there's like no car lights, no campfire, no nothing. I don't know what they're doing there. It's just, and I to this day I still don't even know exactly where they were at. We're on this island in the middle of the lake. They're on some other island or something. I don't know. You can't really see, but they're on this other piece of something that I don't see no car lights, no, they ain't got no flashlights from what we can tell. Like, they just seem like they're in the darkness. I don't. Maybe they were just stargazing. Nah, I messed them up. I don't know, but 100% that was a group of people, not coyotes, unless this man was being circled by coyotes. But it don't seem like that because he said we're here. And like I said, when he said that, my heart absolutely dropped. And he was like, mad when he said it, and obviously I wasn't mad. I was just like, oh, thank God I didn't pull the trigger. I thought this man was a coyote, and he probably just thought like I'm just some guy just annoying him, flashing some light on him, trying to find him. He don't even know that it's probably a gun. Like, this man may be watching this and maybe remember to himself, like, I remember some night similar to that. And now you would know. And if this is you, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I'm so happy you said something. Because I know I really thought about pulling the trigger. And at those distances, like, I wouldn't have missed, which would have been a horrible thing. And I've seen multiple videos of other people doing this. People do this when they hunting. They'll see something move and they'll take shots. They'll shoot people, you know, and that's how it happens. Like, you know your target, and your target is not what you think. And I was dead positive before. Like, I had no question in my mind. I did not think that was a human being whatsoever. I don't know why I didn't it didn't cross my mind to think like maybe it's not the coyotes we're hearing, but I remember the coyote howls were right there also. So I still don't even know where the coyotes were, or I'm not sure. I'm not positive, but all I know is I was definitely at least flashing my light on a man also, and I'm so happy I didn't pull the trigger. So yeah, don't be like me. Make sure you verify your targets. There are gun safety rules for a reason, and I try to always follow them. But that night, I got too sure of myself. Don't be that stupid.